Today we're diving into something that, let's be honest, affects all of us every single day: cybersecurity. We're going to skip all the super technical jargon and get right to the practical stuff, the key things you need to know to stay safe online. So let's jump right in. Okay, let's kick things off with a little scenario. Picture this: you open your email and bam, there's an urgent message from your bank asking you to verify your password. It looks real, but something just feels a little off, right? This happens all the time, and what you choose to do in that moment is, and I mean this, absolutely critical. So that email from your quote-unquote bank, that is a perfect real-world example of the kind of risks we're all navigating. Look, the internet is incredible, right? But it can also be a bit of a minefield if you're not careful. And that's really what cybersecurity is all about. It's not about being scared. It's about being smart and having the right tools to protect yourself. All right, so where do we even start with all this? Well, we start at the front door. I'm talking about the digital locks on all of your accounts. This is your first line of defense, and it's all about having strong passwords and using this amazing tool called two-factor authentication, or 2FA. And you can see the difference right here. A weak password like password123 or your dog's name, that's basically like leaving your front door wide open. A strong password, on the other hand, is like a fortress. The key is to think longer. In fact, a passphrase, like a short, memorable sentence, is even better. But a good rule of thumb is at least 12 characters, and you gotta mix it up: uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and some symbols. But what if someone does manage to get your password? It can happen. Well, that's where 2FA comes in. You've got to think of it like a deadbolt on your door. Even if they have the key, your password, they can't get past that second lock. It's an extra step that proves it's really you trying to get in. And it's honestly so simple to use. You just, put in your password like you always do. Then your phone gets a little ping with a special code. You type that code in and you're done. That second step is what slams the door on hackers. Seriously, if you take one thing away from this section, it's this: turn on 2FA on every single account that lets you. It is one of the single best things you can do for your online security. Okay, so your accounts are locked down with strong passwords and 2FA. That is awesome. But attackers are sneaky, and they have tricks to try and get you to just hand over the keys. So now we need to talk about how to spot those traps before you fall into them. And the most common trap by far is something called phishing. You've probably heard of it. It's basically when a scammer sends you a fake email or text message pretending to be someone they're not. Like your bank or Amazon or Netflix, all to trick you into giving them your login info or credit card number. So let's circle back to that prize-winning email. You know the one. Congratulations, you've won a new phone. All you have to do is click this link. But wait, you take a closer look at the sender's email address, and it's just some random garbage. That, my friends, is a textbook phishing scam. And these are the big red flags you absolutely need to look out for. First off, typos and bad grammar. Big giveaway. Second, always, and I mean always, hover your mouse over a link before you click it to see where it's really going. Third, watch out for that sense of urgency, like your account will be suspended in 24 hours. And finally, just use your gut. If a deal seems way too good to be true, you can bet it is. And this leads to a golden rule: don't download random stuff. Never open an email attachment unless you are 100% expecting it. Those files can be packed with malware, which is nasty software that can wreck your computer or steal your data. When in doubt, just delete it. All right, we've talked about building your fortress and spotting the enemy's tricks. Now let's talk about the day-to-day stuff. We're going to get into some smart habits that just make safety a part of your routine when you're browsing the web or scrolling through social media. Here's a super simple checklist for you. First, whenever you're on a website, just glance up at the address bar. See that little lock icon in HTTPS? That means your connection is secure. Good to go. Second, seriously, take 5 minutes and just check your privacy settings on Facebook or Instagram. And third, just be mindful about what you're sharing. Think twice before posting your home address or your phone number. And that last point is so important. Those privacy settings, they put you in control. You get to decide who sees your vacation photos or your personal updates. The whole world, or just a small group of friends? Taking a minute to lock those down is one of the easiest wins in all of cybersecurity. And finally, we have to talk about your ultimate safety net. Because look, even if you do everything right, sometimes stuff happens. Your laptop might just die, it could get stolen, or a nasty virus could get through. And for those moments, you need a backup plan. It's not optional, it's essential. Seriously, Just stop and think for a second. What would happen if your computer or your phone just vanished right now? All those photos, all your important files, schoolwork, everything, gone. Just poof. When you think about it like that, you really get why backups are so critical. Think of your backups as your digital insurance policy. It doesn't matter if you use a cloud service like iCloud or an external hard drive you plug in. The point is to have a second copy of everything important somewhere else. That way, if disaster strikes, you're covered. It's all about that peace of mind, knowing you can get everything back. You know, when you boil it all down, the single most important takeaway is this. Cybersecurity isn't really about being some tech genius. It's about your habits. It's about building these small, smart routines into your daily life, like pausing before you click a weird link or taking a second to think before you share. It's all about those little choices. So I want to leave you with a question. After all this, what's one simple thing you can do today to improve your security? Just one. Are you going to go enable 2FA on your main email account? Are you going to finally back up those photos? Pick one thing and do it right after you finish watching this. Hey, thanks so much for sticking with me through this breakdown of cybersecurity basics. If you found this helpful, do me a favor and share it with someone who might need it. And of course, if you want to see more explainers like this, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you in the next one.